Well, one of my most anticipated horror films of the year is finally here in Final Destination Bloodlines. The film follows a college student returning home after she is plagued with nightmares of her grandmother when she was younger. Now she has to return home and try to find her to see if she's able to break the cycle and save her family from a horrific fate that is waiting for them. I have been really excited for another Final Destination film because I absolutely love this franchise for what it is. It gave me so much PTSD growing up that I am scared of so many things. There are some things that I'm still scared of, like going on a roller coaster, going on a plane, driving behind logs. But there are some things here and there that I've already gotten my fears over. And so going into this movie, I have been really excited to see what we were going to be taking this franchise. For a majority of this franchise, I really enjoy. One, two, three, five. Four is the one that I liked at first, but really have grown to not like at all. So going into this movie, I was really hoping that they would be able to give us something new and something fresh. The first trailer really didn't do much for me. I wasn't a big fan of that teaser trailer, but the second trailer that dropped, I really enjoyed what we were getting, and it looked like it was going to be in the spirit of the other films, and this movie did not disappoint me at all. Final Destination Bloodlines delivers everything that you want in a Final Destination film. It gives you the gnarly deaths, but it also balances it out with some really dark humor in here. There's a lot more humor than I was really expecting. It's not a laugh out loud comedy, but you can kind of look at it that way as a horror comedy. And it strikes that perfect balance of having those really nice deaths that you expect in this franchise and just levitating it with some humor so that it doesn't seem all too heavy handed. Where the first couple of films were a little bit more on the darker side, but they sprinkled in some humor here and there. This movie just embraces the humor and it just embraces the insanity that you expect going into a Final Destination movie. The kills in here, I really like how they were able to get creative with a lot of them. There were scenes in here where I was just holding my breath, gripping the arms of my chair, and just waiting to see what was going to happen. Moments when I was just at the edge of my seat because I really wanted to see how some of these were going to be killed off. And the opening of this movie is just absolutely bonkers. When you go into one of these movies, you want to see what the opening premonition is going to be. The first one was a plane, the second one was a freeway, third one was a roller coaster, and so on and so forth. In here, you have what I like to call the Seattle Space Needle, where you have our lead's grandmother when she was younger, and she gets a premonition where she saves everybody in this restaurant in this high tower. And so now death is going after everybody that survived on that restaurant because they weren't supposed to. And so it's going through the bloodlines of the people that survived that when they weren't really supposed to. And I really like that unique take. Every single one of these Final Destination movies, they take a little bit more of a creative turn when it comes down to the story. And I think they put a little bit more focus on the story and the characters in here while also adding some fun deaths that you expect. Our lead here is Stephanie, played by Caitlin Santa Juana, and I think she was absolutely great. She was able to hold her own while being the lead and also conveying a lot of different emotions because she's trying to figure out exactly what's going on. She's trying to figure out who's going to be dying when and who's going to be dying where. And so I really like what they did with her. She kind of has a tough relationship with her mom and her siblings. She's off to college, and so she doesn't really talk to her brothers or her dad. And so when she comes back, everybody is wondering why. Everybody in the family kind of disowns her grandmother because she went a little bit Laurie Strode and got really paranoid and crazy after everything that happened in when she was younger, and seeing everybody that survived get picked off one by one in these different deaths. And so I really like the story that they were conveying here, which isn't really something you go for, but I really like the fact that they were able to put a little bit more effort into the story and into the characters so that when shit starts hitting the fan, you get a little bit more excitement. And I was really surprised when it came down to the deaths because even though they are creative, they're not as gruesome as 2, 3, 4, and 5. But there is one death scene in here that I was really surprised that they went that far because there is a scene in here early on that you would not expect it to happen, especially on screen. And I am so happy that this movie had the balls to go that far. and it just made my auditorium happy. Everybody was laughing, everybody was clapping, and so big props on them on getting a little bit more creative with the death and making it a little bit more fun. And the ending of this movie might be my favorite ending of the franchise because it is just absolutely bonkers. And I wanted this movie to go on for another 10 minutes. This movie is not perfect. You know exactly where you're going for in this movie, and if you just want to see people get picked off one by one in the most gnarliest of ways, you're going to get that in spades because that's exactly what you get from this movie. Some of the characters here and there are disposable and you don't really care about them. Overall, I just came out really happy with this movie. It is bloody, it is gnarly, the kills are creative, the characters are fun to follow. Some of them are disposable, but you don't want to see any of these characters die. That is what I really appreciate about this movie a little bit more. I appreciate that they were able to take the time to build out these characters and make you care for them, and you really don't want to see them die, but it's really fun when you get to see them picked off one by one. This movie continues the tradition of traumatizing you and giving you more PTSD than you ever expected. And if they wanted to make 500 more of these movies, I'm going to be there day one because I just want to see how creative they can get with further installments if they do decide to move forward with more movies. But those are my thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines. Have you guys checked it out? Are you planning on checking this film out? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what is your favorite Final Destination movie.